Oh.
An image transfer is a process where we take the still developing negative and roll it onto another material, such as paper or cloth. Allow me to explain in further detail. With image transfer, you're going to need the following items. You'll need a sheet of glass that's perfectly smooth, hard, and flat. I have a sheet of 100% rag watercolor paper. Other materials that you can transfer onto would be natural fibers such as silk and 100% cotton. I have watercolor paper that's going to be used to cut the negative, and you'll see why shortly. I have a hairdryer to keep the negative warm, a soft rubber roller, a squeegee, and in this case I need a razor blade to cut the negative. First we need to take the watercolor paper, which has been soaking in the distilled water that's been heated to 100 degrees. Being a 140-pound paper, I've had this soaking for 2 minutes. 80-pound paper would require about a minute soak, whereas 300-pound paper would require about a 5-minute soak. Now I've placed this onto a sheet of glass which is very flat and non-porous. I'll take a squeegee and I'll squeegee out all the excess moisture until it's just slightly damp. We're getting all the excess water out. The paper's ready, so let's get our negative. For 8x10 film, we need to make 2 incisions, holding the negative by the edges. Make 1 incision along the bottom where you see the delineation between the negative and the developer trap. Then make an incision along the top side near the paper tabs. Grab the negative and then peel that back off of the positive sheet. I'll then take the negative and then carefully place that onto the watercolor paper and lightly place it down. Take a soft rubber roller and with medium pressure roll 6 times in one direction. If you're rolling too light, you'll see little white specks, and if you're rolling too heavily, you'll see all sorts of distortions in the blacks. I'll then set a timer for 2 minutes, and during that time I need to keep the negative warm, about 100 degrees, so it should feel slightly warm to touch. At the end of the 2 minutes, just take one corner, lift it up slowly, and then slowly peel it back. And there you have it, an image transfer. When it's dry, I can finish this with pastels, watercolors, inks, charcoals, pencils, really anything I have on hand. While it's still wet, you can actually take the emulsion and scratch it off and make areas lighter. When it's dry, I'll flatten it in a dry mount press and perhaps finish it with a UV protectant such as Marshall's. Depending upon the format that you're working with, you need to handle the negative in different ways. With 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 film or 6/9, you need to make the cuts as such. Handle it by the edge, make one cut along the end of this black negative. It's not necessary to go all the way through, just enough to cut into the paper underneath. And then another cut along the top, which allows you to have 2 tabs to pull apart, like so. On 4x5 sheet, in this case type 59, you need to make 1 incision along the metal end cap. And that's just a quick slice to take that off. Then it's a simple matter to open up the envelope and then to peel off the negative from the positive.